feelings. It's like I can't walk on the ceiling. Oh yeah, got me dreaming, dreaming in colors I never dreamed. Oh yeah, I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell out with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, magic. No, I'm never letting go. Now that I have it with you. When you kiss me, it's like the stars fall out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell out with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Oh, how I missed you all.
We're
I
back,
missed-
baby.
Man, we
We're
talk every
back.
day. We talk every day.
Well, we do talk every day.
We do. Yeah, you're
We
right.
do talk every day. But face to face, I missed y'all. I was miserable because I couldn't do the show. Then I was more miserable because I had no internet whatsoever. Then I was more miserable because I feel bad that, hey, I grew up without internet, so why am I complaining now? But you get used to something, you get used to everything at your fingertips. When you look up, when you have to look up something, you ain't got to run to a computer or a laptop. Just pull out your phone and there you have it. But we are back. Are you up? Thank you for coming in tonight. I got my wonderful ladies, Anna and Tracy, in the house. I got Theus in the house.
All right, what's up, y'all?
And for every time from this point on, anytime Theus says one or two or even a casual corny joke, every single time.
He brought the snare just for you.
Snare and the top hat. I'm with it.
Hmm?
Just for you.
Since I don't ever tell corny jokes.
Now that was the time you missed it.
So we're gonna.
I was being serious. Y'all mean. Y'all a bunch of bullies. That's all right though.
Oh, I haven't said anything.
I'm sorry. Y'all exuding Tracy because she's being nice. The
Right
two of
now.
you,
But,
Tracy ain't said a word. That's not being nice. Tracy
That
just
is
didn't
being
say
nice.
anything.
being nicer than what you doing.
Yeah.
It's always the nice people that suffer. You know, this is what happens.
Anna, how's everything going tonight?
Wow, both of their faces. Going good. Thank you. Much better than yesterday.
Tracy?
fantastic. I haven't did a show in 5 days and I feel fantastic. And football is back. Oh. Yesterday was so happy for me. I don't care if it was preseason. I saw people playing football and I almost cried.
There was a football game yesterday?
Yes, it was preseason. I don't even care. Jacksonville and the Raiders. I don't care. They could have showed the Colts and the Tampa Bay. I don't care. It's back.
Yes.
Well, Anna, I'm glad you're feeling better. Marlon, you're a bully. Tracy, I still don't like football.
Oh, well.
But I'm glad. I take back the nice part I was about to say.
Nah.
And that's all I got. Oh, and I'm sleepy.
Oh.
He's going to say
You didn't get a nap
I'm
today?
happy.
He had to work today.
He almost did, yep.
That's what lunchtime is for, a good nap.
Dude, lunchtime is for eating lunch.
No, you eat lunch for 15 minutes and then you nap for 30. That's what
Goodness, no.
That's what I
Say,
do.
I eat lunch at my desk.
My boss bought my lunch today, so
Oh, you still working at the office? Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I'm at the office.
Yeah,
Oh, you're
but when you
thinking at
work
home.
at home, 1:15. Oh, I'm taking a good nap. Good.
I can't
nap.
do that because my naps are 2 to 3 hours long. So I'm not gonna be the one to take a 30-minute nap.
That's pure sleep.
Yeah, that's just straight sleep. A nap is supposed to be like 15, maybe 20 minutes,
Nah, that's just
maybe
wrong.
30.
That's
I
just
could
enough to make me tired.
I could do an hour, but I can't do no
I can't
3
do
hours.
no hour, no, because then I'm full of sleep.
I guess my sleeping rhythms are just so strange that I get sleep where I can. Pull 2 hours here, 3 hours there.
At some point tomorrow, I will sleep for 2 hours. And at some point on Sunday, I will sleep for 2 hours. I do not sleep on my lunch break unless I am just dog tired. That's just not.
Just be a customer service rep. You need those naps.
Did that for many years. But I wasn't going to take a nap. Couldn't do it.
Well, let's see who's all out there. Mickey is saying, yes, Mickey, as soon as I arrive, Marlon PM me. I almost forgot, period. Saying, hey, Tracy. Hey, Marlon, Anna, Tracy, and Diaz.
Hello.
And then she says, listen to Tracy Moan having a full football gasm.
Yep, that's what it
Ew.
is. Football gasm.
Ew.
Wow. Okay.
And as always,
Doesn't
everybody,
say.
please like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't already and come chat with us. We missed you all last weekend. And just to go ahead and give you a heads up how important it is to be in tune tonight, tomorrow night, and Sunday night, because after Sunday night show, I will be taking a 2-week hiatus. Nothing bad, no mental illness or anything like that. It's no problem whatsoever. It's not bad. It is actually a good thing, but I know it's going to be about 2 weeks to handle everything it is that I want to handle. What the heck is
Hope you
Tracy
have a
doing?
I'm trying to reach
wonderful
for
time.
my back scratcher without getting up.
How's that working out for you?
I got it.
All righty.
There's one space on my back that hurts that I can't reach.
I have the same one.
Oh boy.
Sorry, everybody, but hey, that one space was itching. I'm like, ah.
Let's get this party started. For the love of. Now this one is actually for Theas, because I want you to go back in time when we were little kids and listening to. It's really short, like 40 seconds long, but
Good. Perfect length. Let's go.
I want you to listen to this and tell me the first thing that pops in your head, and then I'll get
Racism.
it. Don't have anything to do with that. So we're gonna go ahead and get to the. You tell me the first thing that pops in your head.
Yes, I cheated on Blank. Did he deserve that? Absolutely not. Yes, it was wrong. But at the end of the day, it was my fault to get into another relationship. That was my fault. Like, I really should have just rejected him and been like, nah, I'm good. But what happened is done. That's that. There's really no effing need at all to drag this stuff out. He should have also known not to get too attached to me, cause at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what I wanna do, how I wanna do, and when I wanna do it. We should have stayed away from each other, to be honest, but what's done is done. Can't do anything about it now. Lady.
Oh, I'm just hoping that whoever it is gets syphilis and goes blind, and that their herpes get infected, and they end up, with a gaping wound next to their crotch. So, other than that, I mean, it's cool.
That won't get a to that.
Nah, because I'm agreeing. So that, in case you don't know it, that's taking responsibility without taking responsibility.
Yeah, that's not taking responsibility.
And that's mixed
being
into
a sociopath.
And that's mixed into also, and please let's not talk about it and make me feel bad and bring it up and everything. That's why she keeps saying, what's done is done. It ain't nothing we can do about it. Blah, blah,
the way
blah.
she said it is just is see, you're reading into it and being way nicer than need be. That's not someone who's saying don't drag this out. This is someone who's like, I'm proud of this and I'm gonna feign like I feel some other kind of way. Because otherwise, no, who's talking about it? Like, you're dragging the explanation out. So you're actually proud of this.
No,
You hope she gets syphilis?
Yeah, I hope she gets syphilis and goes blind. Yeah.
I didn't take that from what's done is done. If that's what
no, because she was like, what's done is done. He should have known better. It's my fault that I even got into a relationship, but oh well. Yeah, no, blah, 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 blah.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you, but not on the what's done is done. I'm agreeing with you on the because I'm going to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, and how I'm going to do it. That's the whole arrogant, self-centered.
It's false contrition.
Yeah, it's all about me. Even at the end of this, it was a fake apology. Let me rephrase that. It wasn't an apology at all, fake or otherwise. It was no more than a bunch of noise, basically. It was just, if this is going to come up, I don't want to hear it. I said what I said. And trust me on this one, because I grew up with people like this. When somebody do bring this up to her, she's going to point at this and say, I already said something about it. And not one person going to call out and say, you ain't say shit. You didn't say nothing. You
I
made
would
it
never
his
have the
fault.
opportunities to, because the moment I smell you out in my circle, you're out. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment I see that I got somebody like that in my circle, we out. I don't know you no more. I don't care if you family, friend. I don't care. You out. I ain't got nothing to do with you.
I can't deal with people like that. I'm pulling a Tracy. I can't.
Pulling a Tracy?
Yep, I can't.
Tracy never said she disowned somebody.
No, I said I'm pulling a Tracy by saying I can't.
Oh,
Oh.
I can't. I can't deal with people who. I can't deal with people who like to always play the victim in the stuff that they do.
oh. I don't mind those people. I can't stand
I
people who
know.
maliciously harm others.
That's what I mean. You do the damage, and then turn
I don't care
around.
how you feel about it.
And woe is me.
Yeah, as I'm saying, that second part, I don't care about that. My problem is when you intentionally cause emotional damage to another person, you're like the lowest of the lowest. Like some people think that's running game or being slick or whatever. And I'm like, abusing the trust of someone, that's not sneaky. That's not sneaky. That's not intelligent. You took advantage of someone trusting you.
Yeah, that's
So
Tracy.
all the flaw is on you. It's all on you. No matter even if you were in a bad relationship, get out. But if you betray the trust of someone who believes in you, those type of people. I mean, I was saying get syphilis, but really I hope they die. But you know what I'm saying? I figured it'd be nicer to go with the syphilis thing.
That doesn't get a buzz.
No, that just gets. I wish Diaz would take a doggone nap the next time he ever comes on this show.
What? You let off with, hey,
I don't want
this is for
nobody to
you.
die from this.
You said, hey, personal integrity is huge.
It's
with
huge.
me.
It's not a death sentence.
It can be with me. It is huge.
Oh,
so
brother.
you play this video about somebody who's malicious. Because see, here's the thing: what happens? She or he, whatever, does this to their other half. You have now damaged someone who may or may not have been damaged before. If they weren't damaged, they are now. So they're going to go out and cause more harm. If they were damaged, you just push them further into their pain. So they're going to go on and cause more damage that way. You are multiplying the negative impact. Yeah, I have no use for a person like that. So yeah, I hope, you know what I'm saying? Personally, I hope you get called on home. But I'll go with syphilis. Because, I'm a nice guy.
Never bring Theas on here without a nap ever again. I'll make sure I write that down.
What I say that was wrong?
The death part, dude.
Yeah, the death part.
What?
The death part.
What?
That's a little
Because literally, if you betray me, one, I don't have to deal with you ever again.
Right. Don't.
Two, and most importantly, karma is real.
Yeah, maybe.
Everybody who feels, I'm telling you from experience. Everybody,
hey, bro, that's your experience. I'm telling you from my experience, baby.
Anybody who has wronged me any type of way, it has come back on them tenfold and a lot worse.
Yeah.
All I got to do is just sit back and watch.
Why you watching?
Oh, I ain't got to watch them. It always comes back to me. Did you hear what happened to such and such?
Yeah.
It ain't like I go out of my way to sneak around the corner.
I'm just going by what you said, brother.
I can hear it. I'll get it. It'll get back to me. Some type of way it'll get back to me.
Yeah.
You ain't got to die. I don't want you to die.
You ain't got
I
to.
want you to suffer.
I don't want you to suffer. It can be a quick death.
I want you to suffer.
See, I'm not that type of person.
I am.
So there's our difference. You think that me saying that I hope you die is too far, and I'm saying hoping somebody has a living suffering can be too far. So it's just that we have different stopping points and we go different directions. I don't want to see anybody be tortured. I don't care what you did. I don't need you to be tortured. Might want you to go ahead and check on out though.
Two different.
Yeah, because I don't take joy. I'm not saying you do, but I don't take any joy. I don't find any level of completion or what's the word? When people solace or whatever it is.
Satisfaction.
Yeah, satisfaction. I don't take any of that from seeing someone go through something. I don't. So hopefully, I wish nothing but bad. I mean, I'm not talking to you guys, but in this scenario that we're talking about, I wish nothing but bad for you. I hope all bad things happen to you and only you and just for you. But I don't need to see it. I don't need to know about it. And hopefully it's quick and painless.
Well, here's where I differ. I hope you learn from it.
Oh,
That's the best that I can hope for.
That's
And what
But we're going our separate ways.
yeah.
Peace out.
I'm with you
Yeah.
there.
We're going our separate ways.
Yeah,
I got
it is
you.
one thing to forgive, but it's gonna be hard to forget. Just because you forgive them don't mean you got to take them back.
That's true. You don't have to forgive somebody and then stay in their mess with them.
No, you can forgive somebody and be like, "Nah, we done."
Exactly. I'm 100% cool with that.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
But if you out there intentionally, because see, like if you intentionally walk up and hit somebody, yeah, that can be bad. You know what I'm saying? If they did nothing to you, it's definitely bad. But physical pain will heal a lot faster. Even the emotional pain that's tied to the physical pain, it'll heal a lot faster. But to betray someone's trust and go right to the core of who and what they are, that could put people in therapy. You know what I'm saying? That could push people over the edge. That could cause somebody to go on and become an abuser themselves.
I just got
I
one
can
piece
agree
of
with that.
advice to you is please don't ever consider becoming a social worker. Just stay way away from that field.
Why? I'd be a great social worker.
We have a field of dead people.
No, you would.
Just everybody.
I'm here to help you not continue what you're doing. See?
No, we're good.
Yeah, we
The
good.
thing is, when
Just
I might not be a good crisis negotiator.
Yeah, definitely no.
Whoa,
No, don't do that.
Dude.
Yeah, just go ahead. Jump.
I'm very compassionate. Just let y'all know. I'm
Look, I
extremely
just feel
compassionate.
like if you really want to get on out of here, you would get on out of here. But if you still talking, I don't understand why you still talking about it.
No. Because see, there's levels to this, right? Because if you have someone who is contemplating taking their own life, I got all the time in the world for you because I want you to have another opportunity, another chance. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever pain you're going through, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to get a little bit of joy on the other side before you go to the other side. You see what I'm saying? So if it's something like that, I got all the time for you. I would much rather, as they say, I would much rather hear your story than read your obituary. Okay. But you go up in there and you done shot up some folks, or you done chopped up your old lady, or you done did something to a child. Nah, you need to go ahead and jump before I get there. Cause I'm gonna come up there and push you. So yeah, you don't want me for that. You don't want me for that.
Yeah, just like I said, please don't do social work. Please don't. Just don't.
Social work is different though.
No,
But you're right though. You're right, because I didn't end up going to jail because you didn't put your hands on the child. And the book says I'm supposed to like try to intercede, help you grow from this situation. And I'm like, nah. I don't know what happened to him. I got here. That's how I found him.
I don't even know why I'm saying this. I actually kind of agree with that. Kind of. It's just like, I don't know what happened.
I don't know, man.
You wouldn't be. Never mind.
He might have tripped.
I'm not going to ask that question. I'm going to take that question and not ask it.
But why are you
asking before we go to the next?
Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Playing videos in your own house.
Okay, so for context, my apartment is at street level. Look out my front windows and I can see cars and people going about their day. I'm right by the traffic lights. Anyways, Saturday afternoon, I was chilling on Minecraft, mining away with my freshly made diamond pickaxe. After a while, I decided that I wanted to play some Grand Theft Auto with mods, to see what utter chaos I could unleash. I was soon running around Los Santos, blowing stuff up, etc., having such good fun. I sometimes do this as a way of anger management, and it really does work. So there I am, killing not real people with overpowered weapons when my doorbell goes off. I then pause my game and go to the door. It's a woman with her son and her husband. The woman looks at me and says, "So, my son was watching you play that game and I want you to stop playing it, please." Hearing that, I say, "Wait, I'm sorry, what?" I then turn to my window and this kid who's about 7 years old had his face pressed up right against the window. She then says to me, "That's a really violent game, you should play something nicer." I then say to her, "Why the heck are you letting your kid get that close to my house to be able to see into my window? You're lucky I don't call police for trespassing. Please go away or I will." Now with this, the father says, "Are you deaf? She asked you to play a nicer game." I then roll my eyes at what he says and say, "This is my house. I can do whatever the heck I want. If you look in and happen to see that, that's your issue. You don't get to decide what I do in my house." The dad then says, "My son doesn't want to watch that violent game. Can't you play a different game instead?" I tell him, "No, stop looking through my windows and go away please. This is stupid. You can't dictate what games I'm allowed to play." At this point, the Karen says, "I'm calling police. You're being very rude and you're not cooperating." I tell her to go ahead. So I go back to my game and make a fuss of turning my screen a little more to the window because it's more comfortable for me, and carry on blowing stuff up. And the family are still at my damn window. So I leave the game running, get my camera, take their photo, and pick up my landline, all while standing in the window so they can see me. I then dial the non-emergency police line. I say, "Hello, there's like 3 strangers that trespass on my property and they're now outside my window and they won't go away. Please send someone over." The police say they'll send someone over, and a little while later, a cop pulls up outside my house. The family are still on my property. Anyway, the officers in the car start talking to the entitled parents and the kid outside. I can hear the father saying, "He was letting my son watch a violent game through his windows." And the officer responding, "Right, he was talking through an open window." The second officer then knocked on my door and talked to me. I showed her the photo I took of them watching me, and she left. Both parents were fined for harassment, and they were told if they didn't leave right now, they would be arrested for trespassing as well. The both of them were yelling and shouting how my video games were inappropriate for kids. And then I say to them, "So why were you letting your snotty-nosed, red-faced goblin child stare through my window for 20 minutes? I then spend the next hour laughing and giggling to myself, while keeping one eye on the front window just in case they came back. They never did.
Oh.
I'm gonna go with white people for $500, Alex.
That family had some nerve. Nerve.
I'm sorry. You
Do you
let
want me
your
to show them what I did?
Oh, I was looking through it when you was doing you were doing the middle finger dance or whatever it is you was doing.
You're gonna let your snot no. Wait a minute. Let me backtrack. You're going to let your child go up to a place that is not his or hers. I'm gonna assume it's a little boy, and peep his head, press his face in a window. I wish a Karen would. I wish. Oh, please, Karen, please do. Please do. If I was him, I'd have sat right on my porch and played this game. I'm like, you want to see something? You don't get off my porch. It might get real up in here.
This right here, it so gives me a homeowners association type vibe.
I think he's in an apartment.
It could have been an apartment, a duplex,
because he said an apartment. He said an apartment on the ground floor, on the ground level.
I thought he said this is my house and I can do whatever I want.
Because he's at the ground level. Though. Remember in the beginning of the story.
Well, nobody says this is my apartment. I can do what I want. We always say house, even though we live in an apartment.
Right, yeah.
This is my place. Yeah.
This is my point. But either way, this just gives that homeowners vibe homeowners association vibe. Like, I'm paying the mortgage and the taxes on this house, and for you to tell me what I can do in and around my house.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
gonna
care if
take-
he was a renter, renting from his grandmama. You don't come. What made these two think, gee, you know what? Let's pass this house. Let little Tommy, Jimmy, Tony, whatever his name is, run up to this house where he does not live. Let him
No.
peep his head in the window, and then tell him the game that his plan is too violent. How do you know if it's
and then
violent?
you said your son don't even like the game, but your little crotch goblin is sitting here looking in my window.
Looking at the window.
That's one thing. My
You know
son
what?
don't like to look at games like this. Your son,
Yes, he does.
Not even
I'm
gonna
like-
nose up
Oh,
against
yes,
my
he does.
window.
And I done
watch
made him clean the
whole game.
window.
Like, ma'am, sir, if you don't take your genetic mistake and leave from over here, you
That
really
don't get
gonna
a
be offended.
ding.
Y'all gonna be really offended.
No,
I'm not even joking. I'm telling
Nope.
you what you got right here. You know what I'm saying? You and your husband are the reason why this child will never be anything worth a damn. Right? This bad breeding. Okay, you're stupid.
Be that way.
He's stupid, and now you done got this little stupid child over here drooling on my window. You
And
know?
y'all gonna clean the window. Then nobody want your child snot on my window. Get that stuff off.
No, I want you cleaning my window. I want you the hell off my property.
Just,
Yeah, just go
just
away.
go.
I need you to
Just
go.
go.
I'll take care of it.
You know, the only thing more dangerous than a violent person is a stupid person.
How about a stupid violent person?
They usually ending up they transition to that. You know what I'm saying? So this is a family. Because if you are bold enough,
No, he was doing that because he's scared of her. She
Who, the
running his
husband?
money. The husband is
he
scared of
ain't
his
scared,
wife.
he's just stupid.
They scared. They belong
This is
together.
a family that is controlled by a Karen. And when
They
Karen
are.
says, go. And trust me, if he hadn't spoke up like that, and when they got home, oh, he done heard it.
First of all,
from front
if you
to
ain't
back.
gonna bark, first of all, if you can't bark at your lady, don't bark at me. Right? So it's not gonna end well. Look,
It ain't gonna end.
God
well.
made
It ain't
two
well. As
mistakes
soon
when
as
he
you
made
came out
y'all.
your mouth talking about watching
God
the
makes
game,
no
you're
mistakes. Thank you very much.
God made two. That's
he
your
don't
belief
make
system.
no mistakes.
Okay, well then he made a great decision making the devil. Now,
Sometimes the posts and the draft keys are just a little too close.
I'm not smart enough for that one.
I don't even got that one myself.
Technology, post to create, and draft,
To
being
draft.
just draft.
Oh,
See, we got it, Nana.
Mm-hmm.
But watch
Thank you,
this say the most sexist thing. Go ahead, Chris.
most sexist thing. What are you talking
You were saying God made some error.
What
blah,
that
blah,
got to
blah.
do with sexism?
Really?
You the one started it. I'm just saying.
You just equated it. No, we gonna have this conversation. I love this one. Look,
You
I'm
said
talking about this. Look, I do not begrudge
I think your mind meant
your belief
religion.
system. Okay, I don't begrudge your belief system. It ain't mine though. So don't try to push your belief system onto me and tell me that I'm wrong for saying what I'm saying. Maybe I'm talking about a different God. Maybe I got a different God than you, Tracy. I don't know. I'm saying that the God I'm referencing shouldn't have let these two people come together. That's what I'm saying. Now, your belief system may say that that's not possible.
Free
That-
will.
Right?
you have free will. You can
You
make
got
it
free will and all those wonderful things. And he makes no mistakes. And Sea of Forgetfulness and Galilee and Christian Rock on the roadside on
Will you
Bethlehem's
move on?
shoulder. I'm just saying that wasn't what I was talking about.
What were you talking about?
I was talking about these two genetic misfits created a third genetic misfit. And none of these things should have happened. That's what I was saying.
If I was the homeowner, I would have got a shotgun out. But like, now y'all got 10
Then you
seconds.
going to jail.
Nope. If he don't shoot, if he's just defending
Doesn't
his
matter.
property.
Tracy,
know
if
what?
you-
I am really determined that y'all are determined that somebody's gonna die in the. When
I didn't say I was going to shoot it. I just said I'm going to show
So
it.
that's another. Okay, so hopefully you're not
I
a
would
firearms
really hope
person.
we can.
Because here's the thing: if you have a firearm, rule number one, don't pull it if you ain't gonna use it. That's a really important thing. So what I was
I
going to
can
say.
good.
pull it and
Thank
not
you.
use it.
It's not meant for threats. If you're going to make a threat, you use your mouth, right? But if you're going to get a weapon, you've automatically raised it to another level. So that's why you don't do it. That's why I was saying you would go to jail, because what happens is, let's play it out a little bit. These little monster is at your window. Then his crazy,
Mother.
interesting parent to units. You just had this interaction, right? So then you get them to go, you close your door, whatever, right? And now they all stand at your window, like the thing was saying, like they're all standing at the window. He turned the screen a little bit, so they can, right? Now let's say he goes ahead and he gets his little pistol out and he sits it. He don't point at nobody. He just takes his pistol and sits it on the table, and continues playing the game. Now they can say that he threatened them, because even though he's in his home, he introduced the threat of deadly force.
All I gotta say, Second Amendment. That's what the Republicans
They
say.
ain't going. Okay, you try using a Republican.
Well, I'm black. I can't get away with that. So obviously, I'm not gonna get away. I can't get away with that.
Well, it's not obvious. You might be able, maybe.
You got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah,
I just don't want to use my 50-50 chance unless
Not on
I'm
that.
literally protecting myself.
Not on that one.
Nah.
Somebody should have told Karen. The Karens, they need to. They gonna meet up with a family though. They gonna meet up with that one family that's gonna.
They all get the wrong
They
one.
all do, and they'll play the victim, and they'll play the
They
whole.
yelled at me. That's because your little Timmy was up there pressing his face up against somebody. Hey, he doesn't like those games. Yes, he does. He's peeping through my window. You never thought to tell him to stop?
You're raising a people. You're raising a junior sex offender. That's what you're raising.
You're raising a kid who thinks he can do this. Now, I understand what you said, Tracy. I agree with everything that you said about them Karen and Kevin's.
No, they all Karens, whether
But
they're
that
male or
child
female.
that
The guys are
raising-
Kens, right? I thought they were Kens.
I'll just call them all
I've heard
Karens.
all kinds of K names.
Oh no, Kevin's are the dumb ones, and I don't mean to use it, but that's what they call the ones that's just not very bright. They call them Kevins. So you right, but kid. But my thing was, I was saying was, you're raising this child to believe that whatever it is that he does, one, is correct, and two, there's no responsibilities about it. And now, Tracy, I'm gonna pull your thing in. Is that little kid gonna run up on the wrong one?
Yeah, somebody in that family's bound to run up on that one person that's gonna be like, you know what? You gone.
The parents done got used to that though.
They raised that little demon spawn.
The parents done got used to that. That kid, if he gonna run up on the wrong person,
and gonna have to pay the consequences for
they're
the
gonna pay
kid.
the consequences, and the parents gonna come. And I don't understand because everybody has a good child and angel and everything.
Here's the problem, Marlon. Here's the problem. Some folks, especially folks with this kind of mentality, they'll take a butt whooping. They'll take a butt whooping to see you catch more trouble than they were in. So that kid gonna run up on the wrong one, and the kid gonna come outside and is gonna box him in the jaw, and then the parents are gonna press charges on the person that was being harassed, and that's the one who goes to jail.
And Mickey's right. Castle Domain.
Parents,
that's what I was talking
you are spending more time looking at somebody in their private home instead of correcting your child.
Yeah,
Your responsibility is your child.
They drop
Nobody
their
else.
They drop their
No,
responsibility.
whatever their
They believe
child
they can
does
make
is right.
the environment to suit their needs. That's what they believe.
And
Then
when that little
everybody else is wrong, they're right. I mean, you literally have to have that mindset to believe what you're saying about somebody playing a game in their apartment is absolutely correct. We need you to change your environment for our beliefs.
And they don't even live the only way this would make any kind of sense, any kind, was if they were related. If they were related, no, wait a minute, hear me out. Let me say the whole thing. If they were related, and let's just say the Karens are the sister or brother of the guy who lives in the house. If they said, could you not play that game while the child is here?
In my house.
In my house.
Right.
That's
He
the
never made it in the
only
house,
way
That's a totally
No, I
different.
said that's the
I
only
bet I
way
get-
that would make
That'd be
sense
the,
to
that'd
me.
be the only difference, and I would,
Yeah.
and I agree
Mhm.
with you because I don't. think
Everything
you can
else,
play that
I'm
around
like,
kids
nah.
anyway.
Because
Karen.
realistically, this dude could have his curtains wide open,
He could be
window
butt
closed.
naked.
Now, I do think you should have the window closed. What I'm about to say, but yeah, the windows wide open, windows closed, and just be watching porn.
He could. His house.
I do ask that you close your window though, because otherwise now it's noise pollution and you're imposing your thing on the
Yes.
now you into the
That's different. Yeah.
into the public.
Yeah.
All right, let me clarify this by saying I don't think drug addiction is a funny thing at all. I don't. I'm not even showing you this video because of the drug addiction.
What if you're addicted to helium?
Let's just get to it.
Work. Do you know where my friends could grab Coke? Sorry, I don't. Aw, I thought you would. How are you doing? I needs cocaine. Been seeing a guy for a year now. His name's David. He's 30 and has a son and a car and a job. And he's awesome. He never complains when I flip out at him. Lol, so perfect. You dare ignore me, you fat loser. LMAO, you're a fat, ugly loser, lol. You think you're too good for me? Joke. F you, fatty. LMAO, you should probably lay off the coke. You should lay off the chips. Gaha gaga gaga. I've only done coke 3 times. Doesn't matter what drugs you do when you're born, psycho. Wahahaha bagaha. Winona Earp. That's what I'm watching. Not like you care, you woo bastard.
So, here's the thing. First of all, the best place to get Coke is going to be your local corner store. They got Coke, they got Sprite, they got Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want, you can go ahead and get that right now. But this person strikes me as the kind of person who will be talking to you and they not and look like they chewing, but they don't have nothing in their mouth.
But that doesn't get a ding.
That's not a joke. That's what this person comes across to me like.
This is the type of person, and you can tell. You really can tell, honestly. These are the type of people who will literally hold 3 different conversations.
Well, first of all,
in the same conversation, just like what she did.
The other person.
Do I need Coke? Ha ha ha. I'm dating a dude. Second conversation. I'm gonna pick on you. Third conversation. I'm watching Lord of Rider. 4th conversation. This is the same person though.
I blame every time I see one of these little dumb videos and dumb text strings, I blame the recipient.
They could block that easily.
Yep. After the first dumb comment, block and delete.
Everybody, this is Dash from Barbecue Catering. This is he has a YouTube channel too. This is my gateway YouTube channel that I use to get away from everything. Number 1, phenomenal barbecuer. Now, I mean, this dude can cook just about everything. I'm still working on my wings that seem to come out burnt and raw. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So, but this guy is phenomenal. He has his own catering business. I would advise everybody to please go check this dude out. He is absolutely phenomenal on his shows.
That's nice.
Damn, that intro though. And by the way, now he gets a chance to actually come on my show and cuss because he doesn't cuss on his show. So he gets
if his toughest word is damn, that's a good brother still. So I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even use damn. You welcome, man. Dash is a good man. Dash is really good.
But I did add to my list when I visit Marlon, don't eat the chicken wings.
Yep.
No,
Thank you.
I advise you not to eat the chicken wings.
Yes.
I advise you. Let's go ahead and get to the
I
last.
like that
video.
logo
I don't
though,
wanna know.
Dash. That joint's dope. That's pretty dope, man. That's
Oh,
dope.
that man, that dude is all over. That's better.
See, he misspelled old shoot.
Does he deliver? He's in. Baltimore.
Wait, what?
He's in Baltimore.
Oh, so that means my food will get cold by the time it gets here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cold by the time you get there. On last stream, and I try not to curse. Yeah, I know. You can come on here and
Yeah.
curse.
Yeah, cool,
You
man.
can come on here all
Cool.
day.
I wish
Okay.
you absolute success with your business endeavors, brother. That's awesome.
That's a good dude. Yeah, that's right. Baltimore. Cool. Let's go ahead and get to this last video. This is going to be the long one, but this is the video I was telling y'all about. This is the first time of Am I the A-hole? First time ever where the more this dude talked, the worse it got. Like it went levels of terrible. So let's just get into the first part of it.
My late wife, Kate, passed away about 12 years ago. Kate's family has a family heirloom that has passed down several generations, starting from her great-grandmother, from mothers to their first daughters on their 18th birthdays. The heirloom isn't itself highly valuable in a financial sense, but the history makes it very valuable to the people in the family. I currently possess the heirloom after Kate passed away, and I always intended to give it to my daughter, Claire, on her 18th birthday. She's currently 16. I married my current wife about 8 years ago. My stepdaughter, Sarah, whom I have adopted and consider my own daughter, is 17 years and 11 months old. Her 18th birthday is 1 month away. My wife also adopted Claire, and we all consider each other to be one big family. My wife asked me to give the heirloom to Sarah on her birthday to continue the tradition. I was hesitant because I always intended to give it to Claire, who's Kate's only daughter, because this is what she would have wanted, and it's a continuation of the tradition. My wife countered that this belongs to our family now, and we should give it to our eldest daughter on her 18th birthday, and therefore it should be Sarah's. I told her that I do consider Sarah to be my daughter, but she's not Kate's daughter. This heirloom belongs to Kate, so it should go to Kate's daughter. My wife said that Claire is her daughter, not anyone else's, and my wife accused me of playing favorites, and told me that if I truly consider Sarah to be my daughter, then I'll do the right thing, and if I don't, then that means that I haven't really accepted Sarah to be my real daughter yet. I consulted my 25-year-old son, who I also had with Kate, and he told me that if I did this, he's going to walk from the birthday party, and he thinks that he won't be the only one to do so. He said that if I do this, I should be ready for severe consequences. He left in a very frustrated way. His argument in the end was that it isn't yours to give away. It was Mom's, and now it belongs to Claire. My wife thinks that my son is overreacting, and it's only due to his age and moving out that he's never bonded with Sarah like Claire and I have. So he doesn't consider Sarah to be his real sister. Otherwise, he'd be happy for her. My wife thinks that Claire would be happy about this, since she considers Sarah to be her big sister, and it'll bring the girls even closer together because Sarah will happily share it with Claire and then they'll both have it. So, would I be the butthole if I did what my wife wants me to do and give the heirloom to Sarah?
Yes, you would be the a-hole. Yes. Oh, I didn't mean to cut in like that. Yes. The wife needs to shut her whole mouth. The past wife wasn't none of the second child mother. That's her daughter, Claire, whatever her name was. Girl, shut up and sit down. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you, Marlon, but that one just ticked me.
No. I already got what I'm going to say. So
I'm like,
y'all go ahead.
Girl, shut up.
What Tracy said, yeah.
Go ahead, Theo.
I don't have a way to respond to this without saying something that might be considered sexist.
Okay, then I'll go. To the wife, shut the fuck up. This ain't got nothing to do with you. That's a
That's
whole
so
different
patriarchal.
I don't give a rat's. Shut up. This ain't got nothing to do with you. This is an entirely different family. Then you try to do, and this is why I'm upset. Tell you off the bat, this is why I'm upset. If you ever want to upset me, use kids as a tool. And that's exactly what you did, using your oldest daughter as a tool with this whole, but you give it to them and you don't really love her and you don't really like her and you really want to piss me off. Use your child as a tool and see how pissed off I get. You're inbred. And the third and most important thing on top of it is, I'm going to need you, old boy, to get a freaking backbone. Because you going to your son, you're going here, you had to think about it and everything else. And the one line that really just hurt the living daylights out of me was, the mama ain't here, I'm the mama now. How the hell you ain't? You adopted her. Congratulations. Appreciate it. I really do. She has a mama. That heirloom belonged to the mama.
I'll with you all the way to that last part, but I'm with you.
I mean, she's not the biological mother.
She's not. At this point, I'm going specifically off of what she said. If she's never kept her mouth shut and she act like a decent person, wholeheartedly your mother. When you try to use your child as a tool, especially that part about it, but if you give it to the oldest daughter, they'll bond a lot better because they're sharing it. Man, come on. What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's him. He chose this sorry woman.
Yeah, she is sorry. Oh my
So he
God.
chose this sorry woman. He don't want him. All right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and go into the machismo bullshit.
Go ahead.
Right? So
y'all hit that like button, please. But go ahead.
He apparently when his wife died, so did his manhood, right? So so he went and embraced his new role and went and found him a masculine woman. And so now he has a masculine woman so that he can be a feminine male. And she's saying what he, and that's just their dynamic. And so I feel sorry for Claire because her daddy is weak. And I mean, her mama, her stepmother, well, her mother, because she adopted her. So her mother, because I understand her biological mother is a biological mother who has passed away. But the mother, the new wife, is also her mother because she adopted her, right? Okay. It wasn't just they got married and that's my stepmother. No, that's your mother too. If that's how Claire sees her. Okay? Because she could have been adopted without Claire's real input when we really get into it. So, all that aside, simplest thing is biological mother passed away. Biological mother, not only was it her wish, but it's also the tradition in her family, exactly how this thing goes. So, it's not up to you. It's not even something you got to come up with, dude. Like, literally, not your call.
Is this the night of Karens? Because you pulling out all the Karens.
He like to find these kind of weird videos.
I mean, this lady got some nerve. Like, she's like, you should give it to my daughter because she's all of a sudden that's not it. You don't Karen, stop.
And
stop, Karen.
She's a toxic person. But a person who's toxic like that is toxic in other areas too. So he knows he has a toxic, selfish, childish wife.
And she should have what she should have suggested if she had any kind of decency. It's like, hey, this is your tradition. I respect that. But let's buy Emma or whatever that other child something too on her 18th birthday. No, you could buy her like a little necklace or,
you can start your own tradition.
Yeah, start your own tradition. Exactly. Start your own tradition.
If you think that it's so special.
Yeah, you start your own tradition. She gives her daughter that says, hey, you pass this along to your daughter like I'm passing this along to you. But you don't say that the wife that passed That goes through her bloodline. That ain't got nothing to do with Emily or Emma or Kate or Jennifer or whatever her name is.
But I'm with you, Tracy. Tracy, I agree with you because I'm saying that is
Yes.
the decent way to do it. If you think it's so special that this heirloom gets passed on and you just want to cling to it like some little cancerous leech, create your own that runs right with it. Be like, you know what? Because this is how a crafty, semi-decent person could have put it. I tell you what, that does belong to Claire because that's the way her mother would want it. And it is such a beautiful tradition that I think it's a tradition I would like to adopt as well. So now not only are we carrying forward that tradition, but doing it for my bloodline, but we're honoring your wife, your deceased wife. That not a
What
hard
makes
speech.
sense?
Not a hard
She
speech.
gonna go all Karen. You give it to my daughter because she's
but
older.
her thing is, I
We're
want
talking about a
that.
woman who automatically already think that has a monetary value in it.
No, she didn't want to. It's not about the monetary value. It's about the power. It's about what it symbolizes.
Yep, it's the
I
first
am
wife.
replacing your deceased wife, right?
Yeah.
I don't want you to honor her memory. None of
Don't
that.
think about her. Don't talk about her.
That
It's bad
was
enough.
her.
Bad enough. You got to look at Claire. Bad enough.
That
You got to
was
look
her.
at. Yeah,
I
that's
have her daughter. I have her husband. I am what's here now.
only thing she
Period.
don't have is the son because he left.
And
But
she don't like him because he,
He left.
yeah,
But Tracy, I didn't mean to cut you off.
go ahead. Nope.
Because I want you to hold everything that you're thinking about. I want you to hold
you
it.
gonna
in.
play some more of the same thing.
Yeah,
God,
Oh boy,
Because
it's
he-
more of it.
There's
because
more.
it gets
I'm sorry. I didn't
worse.
say that.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Oh,
Take your internet.
no, boy.
But they didn't tell them you pick your box back up. Be here all night, folks.
It gets worse.
Please do not rob your own daughter of her birthright. Okay, so down in the comments, things get really, really interesting. Okay, so as you might expect, OP got absolutely blasted, and everyone's calling him the butthole, saying, please don't do it. And luckily, he says, okay, yeah, I get it. I shouldn't do it. I will give it to my actual daughter. But then OP says this. I already have a will with my children in it, even though my children own a lot more than I do. Kate came from wealth, and almost all of her money went to my kids, not me. Even the house that we currently live in actually belongs to my kids. Then someone replies, be prepared to get kicked out of your house if you do this. No wonder your son said severe consequences. And OP replies, I was thinking about that, and now that I think back, that's probably what my son meant. Someone replies, how long were you planning on living there? Is there a plan to leave the home eventually? OP says, my son always told me that I'll be welcome to stay there for as long as I want. But I've been planning to move out when Claire turns 18, although my wife wants us to stay. There's no final decision yet. Someone says, ha, your wife is a mooch, dude. And another person says, your wife is going to try to pressure Claire to stay or sign the house over. She's going to use the fact that she adopted Claire and is therefore the only mother Claire knows to pressure that poor girl into not just the house, but also sharing her inheritance. Thank God that it seems that everything is shared between Claire and her brother, so hopefully her brother will stand up for her just like he has with his heirloom. OP says, yeah, that part's never gonna happen. About 5 years ago, my wife wanted us to sell the house so that we could buy a place that was our own rather than Kate's. But I resisted the idea, knowing that it wasn't mine to sell. And my son basically told her, it's not your house to sell, but feel free to move out. She dropped the idea. And someone says, wait, did she want to use the money from the sale to fund the new house? I'm confused as to why you would even need to sell the house to get a new home. OP says, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to buy a comparable house in size, luxury, and location on our own. So my wife's idea was to sell Claire's house so we could buy another one. Man, this is so bad. Someone replies, so your wife's idea was for Claire and her brother to sell their house and give you the money to buy another one? Oof. Sorry, OP, but this is sounding worse and worse.
Like, she wanted to sell a house that your late wife left to her kids, even though technically it shouldn't make any financial difference in your ability to buy another house, since neither of you actually own this house, which presumably you're both living in rent-free. And OP replies, as bad as that sounds, yes.
Is there more to this story? Because I want to get it all out of the way.
Yeah,
No, that's it.
Thank goodness.
that's the third part. Just
Because this spineless sucker, he needs to sit himself all the way down. What person wants another person in a relationship that has no backbone? Oh my!
He's just as slimy as she is. Thing
How
is,
you gonna
when his
cheat?
wife died, it broke him. If there was, he might have been sorry then too, though.
No. He was sorry when he was married, because that's the only thing I could come up with why she left the house in the kids.
To the kids, not him. Because
And not
normally
him.
wouldn't it go to the spouse?
Like he
Because
just
that
knew.
Necessarily, because remember at the beginning of the story.
Oh, because it was her
she
house.
comes
They
from wealth.
got married and then he
And that's
moved
what
in.
that's what I'm saying. It was her house. She
Yeah, and then he
died,
moved
and
in.
normally you would think I would leave the house to my spouse, and this wife was like,
Nope, I'm leaving it to my kids.
"Nah, dude, no."
Two of them.
See, I don't
She,
think that's
This
right,
is-
but okay.
yeah, because it's not like she had one. If she had just one child, that would make sense. You leave it to the one child if she didn't have nothing to do with her husband. But she had two kids. How they gonna both live in that house?
It's not about them both living in the house. It's about
But-
passing on an asset.
It's passing on the asset, but which child gets it?
The way that would normally work is the children would decide if one of them decides that they actually want to live in the family home, then they would live in the family home, and then they would be responsible for all upkeep and all those wonderful things. But oftentimes what happens is neither of them wants to live in the family home, and they rent the home out, and then they both share in the proceeds from renting the home, and they also share in the expenses of keeping it up.
Okay, that one I
Because
can.
this way, the asset stays in the family and continues to accumulate value, so that then when it's time, their share of the home will get split across their children. So now instead of it being 2 people who have the house, it might be 6 people who have the
Yeah,
house.
but the creepy crawler wanted them to. Sounds like to me they wanted the evil stepmother. She wanted
She wanted to
Claire.
cash in.
No, she wanted them two to sell her and him the house so they could move and get. Girl,
Right.
is they credit that bad?
No.
Is they
You
credit
want
that
them to
bad?
sell them the house.
They
She
skipped that.
literally said what she said. She
Sell the
said-
house and give the money to them.
Yes,
Right.
She wanted the free.
Yeah,
house.
that's what I'm saying. How bad was they credit that they sit here and said, you know what?
It's not necessarily about
It's
credit,
not
though,
about the
Tracy.
credit. They didn't
It's
care. It was
about-
a free house that they was going to sell.
They was gonna sell the house, right?
A free house to go get another house.
And they wasn't paying no rent in the house that they
But
was
see,
living
Absolutely
in.
not.
But see, y'all are trying to make sense out of something that doesn't follow that train of logic. It's real simple. This new wife wants to erase anything that has to do with the old wife. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what it is.
This is
She
control.
wants to overwrite the fact that that woman ever existed. So the house, it belongs to the children, but as far as her warped mind is looked at, these children are my children. So whatever I do,
Except for that
for-
oldest boy.
right? But she ain't worried about him. She'll fight him a different way. That's the way her weird mind
But
is.
Tracy, I guarantee you, chances are that boy was old enough to see into this.
Yeah, that's what
and
I'm
got
thinking.
out
Because
in time.
it sounds
If
like
that
she
child-
married him
those
for.
2 kids was young, she would have got him too.
And she might have tried because we don't know how long they've been married, right? They could have been married the whole time, almost all.
He
the
said
Sarah's
the girl, her daughter was 7, and she now 18. That's at least 11 years.
right. So they've been married for a while. So what?
That's
this
a while.
For 11
Yeah,
years?
most
Yeah.
marriages don't make it 10 years.
Oh,
Most
I was
marriages don't
sitting there
make it
thinking
5.
marriage is like
Right.
20, 30, 40, 50. I'm
Not
sitting there
anymore.
thinking, hey, as long you in
Listen,
it.
we
Not
got
anymore.
people who can't even stay married for 5 years.
Yeah,
I mean, dang, why you getting married in the first? Well,
because they don't think that that's the situation. Everybody thinks they're different. But what I'm saying with this particular case, this woman wants to erase the old wife. But here's another part of the dumb, twisted, illogical reasoning this person's using. This house bothers me because it still is tied to you and your deceased wife. So in order for us to start a new life together, even though I've been here for a decade, in order for us to start a new life together, we need to make a clean break. So we need to sell the house and then buy a house that would really be our home, because I don't want to still be in her house. But you don't mind being in a new house she paid for.
Yeah, that's where it don't make sense to me, because I'm like, well, whose money would it be? Because it ain't.
That's money laundering.
Now, Theus, you're doing it now.
No, I'm telling you how it works.
You're trying to make logic out of this.
I'm telling you how it works. I see.
But I'm agreeing with everything. But you saying, but you have no problem buying a house with this woman's house.
With
I'm
money.
telling you, that woman was never, ever gonna tell anybody where that money came from.
No.
As far as she's concerned, that new
But
house
here's my question.
was their house altogether. It was their money or credit or whatever.
The kids
that
are completely
got
cut
that new
out.
house. They
I'm
was
still-
never gonna tell
Okay.
anybody where they got the money from.
As a person that is pursuing home ownership, this is the question I have to ask it. So this Karen, she and Spineless Joe,
I ain't got you, but go ahead.
they sitting here living together, right? They want a new start and a new house because it's got too many members. Okay, why couldn't they just save money and then just move to another? Why do they have to sell the house, give her the
Because-
money?
It wouldn't be the standard of living that
Yeah,
they
it wouldn't be
wanted.
standard.
Well, what Karen needs to do is get a second job and
Happy
get to that
anniversary.
standard living that
Happy
she used to.
anniversary.
Happy
Happy
anniversary. See,
anniversary.
18 years.
Yeah, we just did our 15.
See, all in longer than 11. I'm sitting here thinking, 30 years, 20, 30. I'm going.
I'm on my 18th.
But what Ann was saying, you sell the house. He even touched on it in the little dumbass story. You're not going to get the same thing, right? But what I would, beyond this story, the important thing to me is just looking at what asset value is and what wealth really is. The moment you sell that house,
You ain't
you're
got to
trading
know.
an asset for a liability. You're starting from scratch on something that you have a full equity position. So, yeah, it's the
Karen
whole thing
is
is
tripping.
just bad.
Karen, somebody need to tell Karen, look at here, girl. You want a house? That's cool. Get
Hey,
yourself.
Actually,
But
they're
the,
married
deal
right.
but the deal is, Tracy, who? Because it ain't going to be the husband. The husband agreed with all of this until this is the second time. If you actually listen to this story, this is the second time that the son had to shut stuff down. Not the
Thank
husband.
you. The son got more
This is
sense
the
than his
second
spineless
time
daddy.
that the husband
His
had to shut
daddy
everything down.
daddy always been sorry. And see, his daddy lucked out and married into a good family. And then his wife died. And then the new woman thought she was marrying into the wealth that he appeared to have because of the house that he was living in. And probably the death benefit that came from when the wife died. So yeah, see, that's the part of the story that is almost certainly missing here. When you're talking about, it shouldn't just be people with wealth, because I tried when I was in the business, I tried to teach people like all the rest of us how you can do the same thing. But when that wife passed away, if they're wealthy, right, or of means, there was a death benefit that came to him.
Yeah, because he's a spouse.
It only makes sense that I have a cash payout to my spouse, and then the house I pass on to my children, because I will not be here to take care of them. But one thing I can do is make sure they are never without. And the house does that. You will never be homeless long as you got this house.
Karen married him for the money.
Karen married him because she thought he had the money.
Yep, she got surprised, like, uh-oh.
Dash,
Didn't
let,
marry
me
as
ask
well
you
as you
this
thought.
question. Let me ask you this question real quick, Dash, because I've seen this comment before, living beyond your means. Is living beyond your means is breaking even, or living beyond your means is you don't even have enough to put in savings?
But they
Because
was
I-
living rent free.
That's really circumstantial.
It is, but it isn't for me. Just literally for me. Because the reason being is, the reason I asked they may not be living among their means in living in this house because they have their asset set up to a point where they can pay for everything they need to pay for. If there's an emergency fund, which is the other thing about savings, they don't have it. And why they don't have it? They can go to the sun. So I don't think living beyond the means is the same thing as saying every month I'm borrowing money from the in-laws, or I'm borrowing money from the son, or something like that. Compared to breaking even, meaning, yeah, I may not have any money in the bank.
Living paycheck to paycheck is different than living beyond your means.
Living beyond your means.
That's what I mean. So,
and you can live beyond your means.
I have heard people who say, if you don't have any money in the bank or you don't have any money in your savings, if you're not, you know, the whole thing is that you break everything up into, and that includes savings, that you have to put a certain amount of money in your savings. So is that, if you don't have any money in your savings, that's still equated to living beyond your means?
To me, that's actually a discussion I would love to have on a whole separate thing, because it's really important. Because there's a lot of built-in biases, I guess you could say, that is in that loaded statement of living beyond your means, right? So, like what he said, that's one version, right? They're not broke, they're not destitute or anything like that. We don't know. They might have good jobs. They got 2 kids. They ain't said they had no problems with the kids. So they could just be living beyond their means from the standpoint of, if not for this house, their standard of living would change, right? They could be in that situation.
Because they're not paying no rent.
We don't know that. There might be a mortgage on that house. The house ends up going.
What are people saying? Are you staying in the house rent free?
Yeah. So things can. Well, that was like a commenter who said that. So you know, but so living beyond your means can mean different things, right? Because if you don't make, taking outside of this weird little story people, but just regular people, if you don't make much money, right? You got 2 people, or you got a house of 4. You got a household of 4, 2 adults, working adults, and 2 kids. And depending upon the market you live in, but let's just say each of you makes $30,000 a year. That means your household income is $60,000 a year. That's survival money, right? That's struggling money. So anything you do could technically be considered as living beyond your means, when really all you're trying to do is survive, because your means would mean you would have to live in an unsafe area, or there's so many trade-offs that get built into it. But then there's a different class, right? There's a class who's more of a middle class, right? Household income is in the neighborhood of $100,000 a year. You're in a normal kind of income market. Well, now living beyond your means could be, instead of having a Toyota and a Honda, you went and got a Jaguar and a Lexus, and you can pay the bills, but it's only because you're servicing debt. Now you're kind of living beyond your means if servicing the debt is eroding what you should be saving and investing. So it's like this whole thing, you know. Sorry.
In other words, Karen got with me because she thought I'd have hit the jackpot.
Yeah, she thought she came up.
Oh, she thought that.
Karen thought, I got this. Mama, guess what I did?
We really do need to do a show on this, because I always heard that your bills, you saving money, is a bill. That you always need to take a portion of your check and put it in a savings account.
Yeah, you should, to an extent. Yeah.
If that's feasible.
Well, no, not even as feasible.
Because some people cannot. Trust me, I was in that position. I could not afford to save but $5 a check. I'm like, you can't.
I get what you're saying, and that's whether your means aren't enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you're not making enough to. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But then, I think one of the big things, and this is huge in our community, actually just period in the lower working class spectrum, we are known for being the best savers. So like people always want to talk about you need to save more of your money. You need to do a better job of saving. But working class and below do a better job of saving per capita than people who make more money than they do. The problem is life, you can't absorb much of a life interruption. So you can save uninterrupted for 6 months, but the amount of money you could save over those 6 months might still only get you to maybe $300 or $400.
Exactly.
But you have a serious incident, or not even serious. You got to get new brakes. $300 is gone.
Yeah, and
Right.
don't let me tell the story. If I thought I saved $2,000, I thought, oh, I'm doing it now. I'm on my way. Brakes, carburetor.
But also,
Medicine went up.
There's things that go into that, though. There's a lot of things that go into that. So what I used to tell people is, like Marlon was touching on, you have to decide before how much money you're going to save, right? You don't save what's left. Okay, you save first.
Oh yeah, it's a percentage.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is the average American, per se, the most Americans don't even have $400.
Most Americans don't do what we're saying, though.
But you got to
Because it's
realize
hard.
that most Americans, for instance, and I'm not saying right or wrong, it's your money. Okay, I can't tell you what to do with your money. But for instance, one of the bills that some people say they have to deal with is vacation.
Now you can do a staycation. You can do a staycation.
Most families don't know what a vacation is.
Not go at all. But
Marlon, most families don't know what a vacation is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what is this thing you call a vacation? I've never heard of.
Some families don't. But the deal is, some families will look at it as, I can't afford to go on vacation. As the money grows, not substantially enough, where you once again you're supposed to put it in savings and not anything else. Now we can go on vacation. Well, now you living beyond your means, or are you now breaking even?
Well, here's where I'm gonna kind of tackle that a little bit different, maybe a little surprising to some people, but I don't think that you should be punished by your circumstance either. So sometimes going on vacation every other year, I'm just say that, like every other year, you go on a little vacation. If you live in Georgia, you go to South Carolina or Florida for a weekend, right? Now, financially, it doesn't make a lot of sense. That's money that technically should stay in your savings for an emergency or whatever, right? We know that, like intellectually. But I wouldn't say that it's irresponsible or living beyond your means if you're doing that vacation, because you also need to make sure you're taking care of your mental health and your emotional balance. So sometimes you make a financially irresponsible decision for a personally responsible reason.
Right, because you're doing what it takes for you to stay mentally.
Where I will always push back on that is when you're not doing it with intentionality. See, people like to say things like, I'm looking out for my mental health, or I have to look out for my emotional balance, or I just need to take a break from this. But you're not doing anything intentionally. Like, you don't have a plan that you're exercising, and then this is how you're taking a step away. So in that particular case, it's escapism. No matter how we want to twist it or dice it, it's escapism. Like, for example, I know I'm financially trained. I worked in banking and insurance for 20 years, and I still make dumb decisions, because the worst thing for me is I like to eat. I like to eat. I'm going to eat what the heck I want to eat. That is financially irresponsible, because that money could easily be cut in half and saved and add to the household savings that we have and the investments that we're working on and all these other things, right? But I also know if I don't get to eat what I want to eat, I don't perform very well at work. I don't perform very well at home.
You
Ah,
could
I
cook
feel
at
like
home
I'm
though.
pacing
You could cook your
myself.
own food and take it to work.
I'm not saying
This
right
is where I'm gonna
decision. What
push
I'm
back.
saying is it's intentional. Go ahead, Mom.
No, this is where I'm gonna push back on you. I apologize for interrupting you. I just didn't want you to get off with literally what you just said.
Mhm.
That you don't function very well. To me, that's the equivalent of I deserve this.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's
some-
what I said when people start getting financially messing up their finances when they have to go. Because you said every 2 years. I agree with it. If it's in your budget to go every 2 years, cool with it. But then you got the people who I worked hard. I deserve to go every year. I
But that's
work
what I was
hard. I
saying.
deserve to have this bag. I work hard. I deserve to have
But
this.
that's why I said it has to be intentional.
I'm
You
not
see what
sure
I'm
that-
saying?
I'm not
Like
sure that-
there are a lot of people who don't have a plan that they're executing. And they just do it because they feel like they deserve it. They feel like they should do this. And they have no concept of the consequence. They have no concept of the trade-off. Not because they're not able to understand the consequence, but because they choose not to
they
look
choose
at it.
not to.
Right? So it's like if you want to go on vacation, you can make a decision. Okay, I want to go on vacation in November and it's January. So to do that, I'll need $3,000. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I know my taxes typically give me $2,000 back. That means I need to save $1,000. So I will find a way to cut and I'll work extra time doing Uber, whatever it is to accomplish the goal of vacation, right? There's a level of intentionality there, but where I'm going to question a person, or I would if it was necessary, is what are you doing to make sure you can absorb a financial setback? What are you doing to make sure that if you get sick and can't go to, like you get COVID and you can't go to work for 2 weeks and your job, that's not long enough to trigger short-term disability. So your job doesn't give you vacation time. So you need to be off work for 2 weeks, unpaid.
Yep.
Do you have that saved? And are you keeping it saved? Right? Like when I used to sell people,
Have a
hey,
good one,
appreciate
Dad.
you, Cam. When I used to sell home and auto insurance, right? And I would talk to people about their deductibles. Now, this is a very tailored thing. So it all depends on who you're talking to and their philosophies. I'm going to give you mine. My general philosophy is, and I'm talking about collision coverage because that's what we all think about. You get a $500 deductible because that's what everybody gets. Everybody gets a $500 deductible. And the reason why you get a $500 deductible is because you may not have it, but you can get it, right? If you have an accident and you need to get your car fixed, you are in a position to where you can reach out to probably some people and you can get the 500 together to get your car fixed, right? So it's attainable. But I also say that if you're, especially unless you got a lot of money, if you have a $500 deductible, now what I want you to do is I want you to open a free checking account. Now, notice I said checking, not savings. Open a free checking account. Hide it. Like if you have the feature online where you can hide it so you can't see the account, or get it at like another institution, and don't get a debit card, don't get online banking, don't do any of that. And now I want you to save that $500. Okay. Once you've reached that $500 in your savings, now you can increase your deductible to $1,000 because you're once again only needing to stretch for $500 should it happen, but you're reducing your monthly premium by an amount. I don't ever say go higher than 1,000, but the purpose for this is you want to be in a position where you're not overpaying for a service, right? Because if you get a $200 or $250 deductible, what a lot of people think they want to do, because they think well, that's going to give me a better deductible. We are charging you up the butt for that low deductible. So save, like have a plan. Like I want to make sure that I can replace this deductible if I need to. I'm going to save up. Once I hit that, then I can move that. I want to save for vacation. So I want to make sure that I save twice of whatever it is I say I want to go on vacation, because if I'm going to treat myself, I got to protect myself. And you do that. You make sure you have life insurance. I don't care what your situation is. Get life insurance. Now, unfortunately, sometimes you can be in a position where you're uninsurable. Okay? Now, if that has already become your life experience, now you are forced into a saving mode, right? So you start looking towards that. You don't spend your money on insurance. You get real aggressive with saving, right? So there's things that we can do. I just wish that people would be more intentional. But if you've never been taught, you will not know how.
It still boils down to everybody has an attention to what they want. Very little has a plan to reach it.
But if that's not your background, it's very difficult to have one.
Or when you learn bad habits.
Yeah.
Because bad habits, trust me, it is hard to break a bad habit.
The hardest bad habit I have found, and this is from banking, is about the savings piece.
Yep, that's
because people want to save. They want to save.
Yep, we got that dipping disease.
But not only that, but when they look at their expenses, especially the way, because don't let the companies off the hook because they ain't paying people right. So when they look at their expenses, you can only cut back so far.
You sure can.
Okay.
You know the worst thing they ever did on an online banking app or website or whatever is put that little transfer from savings.
Oh, that was terrible. That was terrible.
Well, that's very true. But you know what I taught people when I was in the bank?
Yeah, I got to keep mine
my bank
two
did
separate
not.
things.
They did not like me for this because it's not the way your banker is supposed to talk to you, right? I would say, look, if you put money in your savings, I'm like, have you ever saved before? More often than not, people say yes, I've saved. And I say, okay, well, how much money do you typically keep in your savings account, static, month over month? And typically people would say, oh, I don't know. It could be anywhere, $100, $200, because they dip into it.
Yeah.
Right?
Got that dipping disease.
You're saving too aggressively for where you are behaviorally. Okay? I would rather, and I would tell people that I would rather you save $25 a month and not need it than you save $100 a month and have to come get it. Okay? So that's one of the biggest things. We're too aggressive with what we're trying to save when we don't know how. The other thing is we get sucked into getting savings accounts because it's a savings account. Well, the savings account, especially in your major banks, pay you like 0.003%
Just say
interest.
squat. Just say squat.
Right?
Right there. Just squat.
They give you a penny a month, and that's only because they were forced to round up. Okay? So what comes with that penny? With that penny are rules. You can't take money out that account more than 6 times total in a month, and you can only do it up to 3 times given the situation. So people will end up paying fees
to get their own money.
Account.
Yep, that's why I don't have one. Yeah, I closed mine. I was like, no, I don't need this.
401k. Here's the thing about 401k, in my opinion. Now, it's a good thing if you ain't got nothing else. So if your job offers you a 401k, I don't care how cash strapped you are, at least do the 3%. I don't even care if your company don't match you a bit, right? If they do match you, definitely try to get to the match. Okay, try. You may not be able to, no judgment, but try. But here's the thing about a 401k. Typically, the average person retires with a 401k with approximately, let's just say $160,000, $180,000, because somewhere along the lines, either they didn't make enough money to get it higher, or they had to borrow against it at some point during their lifetime. So that ends up reducing what it is by the time they retire. So average retirement is about $160,000. Now, for an average person, 160 sounds like a pretty good number. Here's the problem. You're maybe 60 years old. Probably going to live to your 80 at least. You got to live on $160,000 for 20 years.
Yeah,
that's gonna make it.
Yeah, $5,000 a year.
So you have to do what you can with your 401k. If you got nothing else, it's still more than you would have if you didn't do it. Okay? Because retiring at 160,000 is a darn sight better than retiring on your savings account.
And we just made Anna just like, I didn't check that.
No, I
I'm sorry.
already
No,
looked
I'm
at
listening.
Yeah, we're like Anna, it's flying over
I
my
get
head.
into
I'm like,
if
yeah.
you're talking about insurance and banking and stuff like that, I nerd out on it because it's something I'm very passionate about. So I do apologize to all of the listening audience.
You're gonna literally have to live off of $8,000
dollars a year. You can't do it. And yeah, these jobs don't pay enough. That's the core problem right there. They pay squat.
Some of them do, and see
Some do, but you have to have the degree. You got to spend $100,000 to get the $50,000 a year job. What's the interest rate on student
Here's
loans?
the thing,
12%.
I haven't truly figured this out because every time I start a business, I do it trying to help people. And if you're not in a strong enough financial position, which I'm never in a strong enough financial position at the time that I start trying to help people, it ends up hurting you in the end, right? But if you have a skill or if you have a passion or an interest, see, we get misled into thinking it has to be big money. It doesn't.
Nope.
It really doesn't.
Nope.
Let's say you like to bake cookies and you work your job, right? Let's say you have to go to work, right? You don't get to work from home. All right. So you like to bake cookies. Everybody got a sweet tooth. And they throw a lot of money at the vending machine or whatever. You could literally sell cookies out the trunk of your car out of a cooler bag at lunchtime. And if you were able to make an extra $25 a week, I'm only saying $25 a week, that's $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year. That's more than your job would give you for a raise.
Yep, that cost of living wage that the IRS take.
So there's things we can do. Like right now, this younger generation, man, they got us beat, dog. They go and they get certifications. They learn how to do stuff on Google and Etsy and Yetsy and Witsy and all these weird things. And then they turn around and they will do 4 or 5 jobs that each pay them $500 a month and walk around with a $2,000 to $3,000 in their pocket and never had to go to a job, never had to get a degree, never did any of that. So if you have the discipline, which is usually my weak point, if you have the discipline, you can go and put together a little bit extra money. Let's say you don't have that creativity. You don't have that. That's cool. If you have a car and it's not terrible, drive Uber Eats 2 days a week, pick up an extra $100 a week. Now you putting that same money into your savings. You have $100 a week, $400 a month. What will that pay? I mean, it's probably paying most of your car note. It's definitely paying your internet. It's probably paying your groceries. Like, you can't. And once you get that chance to breathe, man, I swear it is so freeing. And your imagination to start running because, sorry, soapbox again. But the thing is, like, the most expensive thing to be in America is poor.
It sure is. Ooh.
It's the most expensive thing you can be. You pay more for anything on credit. You pay more for your fuel because in the poor areas, the gas costs more, right? All your money is going to the staple needs. You're buying groceries with that money. You're not blowing that money. And then people look at you and they be like, well, why you got on Jordans? I hate a Jordan shamer. Because I'm like, a pair of Jordans cost you what? $250?
That's the cheap ones, but yeah.
It doesn't matter how much the price is.
Right.
I mean, they more than $50, so I don't go for $50.
I don't want to even get on a rant about it because I'm going to shut it down so we can get ready for tomorrow and everything.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. All your stuff was really good. I really appreciate everything you said. I appreciate it. I was just saying I don't want to get on a rant because I can't stand when somebody is poor or middle class and society has to see you poor and middle class. So even if you try your best to put on your nicest appearance, what's the first thing to be coming out your mouth? What come out their mouth? Well, you don't look poor.
Yeah,
What
I'm
does
like, why you
poor
gotta
look
look like?
Why
you gotta
I
look like
have
your
to
condition?
look poor? Am I supposed to be like the good old 1950s and 1940s where my shoes are falling off my feet and
Yes, Marlon.
I'm tying my pants up with a rope? What
Yes,
is
Marlon.
your definition of looking poor?
You gotta understand in America, and Tracy, bear with me because I'm not coming for your people here. Okay. In America, we have allowed a certain, actually, it's become the entire ethos of America because it's built on capitalism, but it masquerades behind religiosity, right? And so what happens is we've somehow morphed how well you're living to how well you're blessed. When the
Hey, Parker,
teachings show you
where the hell
that
you
these are
been?
separate things.
Driving Uber, if you're on a super tight budget, can be risky because you significantly increase likelihood of having car
That is a very
damage
true statement.
and can put you in a bigger
Yep, and
financial
then you
hole.
can't tell the insurance company that you drive an Uber because they're gonna jack your rates up. I found
So-
that out the hard way.
So here's the thing.
That's why I
All right.
stopped.
That's a very important point that Parker just raised and that you just said as well, Tracy. I'm talking about people who are trying to survive. So, one, it depends on your insurance company. Okay. Some insurance companies, no insurance company wants you to drive Uber, but
Absolutely not.
But some of them really, they're not going to do anything to you because they're not going to cover you in the event that you had an accident while you're driving for Uber. So that's why Uber and Lyft and those other companies have a policy that turns on the moment you turn on going to get a fare. That doesn't mean you're not going to be in violation of your insurance policy. So you need to know your policy. Okay.
Yes.
But here's my thing. And this is not advice because I'm licensed. So this is not advice, folks. If I am facing losing my shelter, having my car repossessed, and not being able to make sure that my wife or children can eat, I'm going to do what I got to do in the short run to try to get some more money. Now, if you remember what I was talking about earlier, it was not using Uber or Lyft as your means of a living.
Right, that's a side hustle.
It's what you're doing. You've set a goal to where you want $500. Do what you got to do to get that $500.
That's legal. Let's please put legal in there. We add legal just to make me feel good.
You
I don't
can
know.
add
Come
legal.
on, come on, Theus. Come on, Theus.
I recommend everything you do be legal.
Yeah, because don't nobody want you to be going to well,
I
Jesus told me to sell
recommend
marijuana.
everything you do be legal.
And I want y'all to understand, because this ain't gonna be that do what you gotta do type of show.
Yeah, don't be.
Everything ain't gonna do what you
And my
gotta do type of
opinions and
thing.
thoughts are my opinions and thoughts, folks. So this ain't nothing to do with everybody else.
You
up here.
could sell blood though. That's legal.
You can sell blood. You can sell plasma. You could.
Yep, plasma. Yep.
You could do Uber Eats. You could do Uber. You could do
Instacart.
You could do your own thing, where you go and make sure that the sick and shut in at the church get food. So you might not make as much money this way, but you could do that. You can make hot meals for people who are like maybe they're shut in at home, right? And you could do something like that. There's so many things. Use your imagination, right? And find a way to make a little bit more that your job won't give you. it'll do a couple things for you. One, it might make your job a little bit easier to swallow while you're trying to find a better job because you have something else that's distracting you that you're working towards. Might do that. But one thing more money always does when you don't have money, takes that stress off of you. Because
Come on,
now,
y'all hit that like button now. Y'all ain't gonna get information like
Mhm.
this from anybody else. Now.
Yeah,
Come on,
that-
now. Y'all hit
that's
that
the
like
biggest
button right
thing.
now.
Like what me and Tracy was saying earlier about the most expensive thing to do is be poor. I'm not saying that you're gonna be able to just flip your situation. I'm not saying that, but you always hear people say, I think this is a dumb thing for people to say, but you always hear people say, Pete, you're poor because you have a poor mindset. And my thing is you can have a rich mindset and still be poor. What I'm saying though is if you can just get some oxygen,
Yep.
right? If you're beat down, you're afraid to answer your phone because it's just going to be another collection.
It's a bill collector, so why answer it? Shoot.
Right?
You don't
You got to park
understand.
your car
At your neighbor's
around the
house.
corner because you scared they're going to come get it. Even though now if you get it from a buy here, pay here, they got a jack in your car. They'll find it no matter where you park it. But
Oh,
Oh,
I mean,
shoot.
I'm just saying
Yeah.
that is emotionally taxing. And when
Yeah.
you're under that much weight, you might be the exception because there's exceptions to everything, and I applaud the exceptions. But my passion is not for the exception. My passion is for the rule. I want to expand the rule so the rule is doing better. Exceptions will always take care of themselves. But if you have so much on you, it's, in my opinion, next to impossible to assign the optimism and energy that you need to change your situation. Do something just to get a breath of air. Whoever I'm speaking to, I hope it helps you. Find some way to just get you a little bit of air. You can't fix it all today. And it's not all your fault. But a lot of it is. See, I'm that person, right? I ain't gonna sit here and say ain't none of it your fault. No, you got a hand to play in it too. But it ain't all on you. It's not all on you while you're in a tough situation. That is not all on you. Don't let nobody tell you it's all on you. Even if you made dumbass decisions that have jacked up your life and stuff is hard, it still ain't all on you. Own the parts that are on you. Own that so you can learn something. But then understand this ugly, dark fact. It is all on you to get out.
Sure is.
you have to take. Y'all can take this any way you want to. I've lived by this statement. Always. You can't help what happens to you. You can't control what happens to you. You can always control how you react to it. Stuff, because I'm pulling a theist now, try not to cuss as much. Stuff is going to happen. Sorry, folks. It is what it is. You can cry until you piss in your pants. I honestly don't care. It's going to happen. But if you spend more time moaning and groaning and crying and whining and everything, all whatever it is that you want to, compared to fixing the issue. I have told my kids time and time again, when they call me with issues, because I learned this from somebody else. When they call to me and ask me what their problem, I always say, what did you do about it? Well, I don't know. I don't know what to do. Yes, you do know what to do about it. You're just calling me to see if it's the right move to make. So I'm going to ask you again. What are you going to do about it? you will be amazed at about 5, 6, 7 different decisions that have came out of their mouth. Oh, so you have thought about it. Okay, now we can go that route of which one I think would be best for you from the experience of an older person.
Yeah, mine's slightly
Now.
different, but same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, take that aside to the person who, remember at the beginning of what I said, moan, groan, whine, complain, and that is literally it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's their solution to every situation. Theus was absolutely correct when he says it is your fault. You can't help what happens to you. You can't. But if your solution is to cry about it, now it is your fault.
If I may.
Nah, I'm gonna.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Because I have always said the one thing to my kids is you always fight to the end. If the end comes, the end comes. I don't want it to happen, but it happens. Sorry. But when I sit here and say, what did you do? What did you fight? What the solutions that you did and everything else, and every solution that you did just went to shambles. And I ask you, what all the stuff that you did to prevent this from happening, and you go, nothing. I don't know what you want from me then. I don't know what you want from me. Did you call? Did you write? Did you go to? Did you catch the bus and talk to? Did you get on the phone and call? What did you do? Nothing. I didn't do nothing.
I see where you're going. I see where you're going. I agree with you. And here comes the however dip. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's good to cry.
No.
Wait a minute,
I knew you was gonna miss that. I said that's all.
Yeah, that's what I was got to do. Because
Yeah.
sometimes it's good to cry, sometimes it's good to scream, sometimes it's good to just yell out. You just can't do that, like you said, on a 24/7. Woe is me, all that, because that gets old. That's all I was gonna say. Is sometimes it's good to cry.
I agree with you, Tracy, but there are people who that is their solution.
That is, but here we go.
Don't nobody have to listen to them.
No, not even that. Because
I'd be like, you know what? You
it's
take
funny
that.
enough.
Look here, Nancy. Negative Nancy. Don't nobody want to sit here and listen to you.
Negative. Woo, that's a good one.
I think it's funny, and it just could be the way, because we have different ways of explaining ourselves and coming at different things. Because I think we overlap in a lot of ways.
The chances are we probably are. We have 50 million
I just feel like
something. We have just different routes to get to it.
But people out there, I'm the absolutist when it comes to how I seek out punishment. But I think I'm the most compassionate person after Anna. Hey,
Thank you.
Not a chance in the world. You're the most compassionate.
You just said you wish somebody died at the first of the show. What are you talking about?
Right, but that's because I don't want them to suffer. Both of y'all was good with suffering. But here's the thing, though. Right? But here's the thing.
Sometimes you gotta suffer.
Yeah, but I don't wish that for you.
Yeah, I know. Go.
Yeah, we know. He's the most compassionate. That's the
most compassionate.
But here's what I was gonna say. You have to soften your heart enough for whatever it is or whoever it is you are trying to engage and help or guide or support, because all times it ain't always about helping them. To meet them where they are, because that person may have a coping mechanism that they've developed since childhood, right? Because trauma creates scar tissue. and you create a coping mechanism for various things. So you will find some people, their way of coping with heavy issues is like what Marlon was kind of touching on, where they just hide from it, right? Like they like shut down, like it's gonna fix itself if I just be still. But if you trace a lot of times, if you trace that person's history, they experienced some form of trauma as a child, where the only thing they could do was be still and hope it passes, because they felt they didn't have any power, and they don't know how to manifest that power now because of the scar tissue, right? That person may take a lot more work. You might not even be qualified to help them, but you might be. So that you might have to let them sit in their mess for a while. Now, me, I can't sit in the mess with you, because my particular scar tissue or whatever has always been, whatever the problem is, there's more than one way to go at it, right? You can go right at it, but I wasn't always the strongest person. So I had to learn that you can't always break through your problem. Sometimes you got to go around your problems. You got to go over your problems. You got to go under your problem. Sometimes you got to, hate to put it this way, manipulate somebody else to come and solve your problem, right? Because that was how I learned to engage issues.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you got to figure out what you're dealing with. And if you look at someone who's in grief, and it doesn't have to be because someone died. If someone's in a grief mode, they're not going to be able to give you a solution. They're not going to be able to help you chart a path. It is so dark that oftentimes they don't even remember what light looked like, right? For that person, oftentimes, if you're the one that they'll let in, you just have to be there and be a light. That's it, right? Don't try to fix nothing. None of that. I'm not well suited to that role, but I'm just telling folks, you got to know where your strengths are. But one of the things that me and Marlon do share, even though our approach is a little bit different, but it's the same thing. I'm less inclined about what did you do? Like I might ask, what did you do to try to solve it, right? Like you were saying, Marlon. But because I'm a planner and a plotter, I'm really interested in is, what are your plans to fix this, right? Like when you come to me with something, one of my first questions is, do you want to fix it, right? Because like I said, I ain't got the skill set. Like Anna, I think Anna has a patience of Job. I ain't got that. So when you come to me, I'm like, look, do you want a solution right now? Because if your answer is no, then that tells me, slow down, don't try to fix it, because I'm a natural fixer. If not, then I want to know, so what have you thought about? Like you were saying, Marlon, what have you thought about? Right? I don't need you to have the right answer. I need you to have an idea. And then I can work with you, find an answer. Now, with my kids, that's my approach. I do that to them all the time, except the youngest one is now 8. So now she's coming out of boot camp. So now she's moving into the phase where I do say to her, okay, how did that work out for you? Is that the result that you were looking for? How did we get here? What are your ideas to fix it? What might you do different next time? I have an answer in my head already, but I'm going to walk you through it. I'm sorry, Tracy. Go ahead.
I just want to know, like you saying all this stuff, right? And you do a video like what? Every 4 years or when is it?
Yeah, 3
But you know what? I'm gonna come to thesis.
Cause boy, I'm like, okay, he could have did at least 3 videos on this one by himself.
Right, Tracy. I need to just stop talking. I apologize.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying, well, boy, he said he don't got nothing to talk about. He just laid out 3 different things.
I mean. That the hardest person and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong,
You're wrong.
I'm wrong.
It's easier for me to hold y'all hostage than for me to try to think somebody want to come to my TED Talk.
No, that's who is the hardest person that I'm on this show?
You mean besides me?
Tracy.
Yes. Y'all pick both of y'all.
I'm harder
pick,
on Tracy.
yes,
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
are both so hard on me. It don't make no sense.
You harder on Tracy than you are on me.
Really?
Yes. Y'all be only
Anna
Anna.
Sweet self, she
First
ain't
of
even
all,
voting.
I'm
She-
probably kind of funny that nobody put Anna in that list.
Yeah, Anna's always kind of nice to me.
She's
But
a nice person.
Yeah, she's a
yeah,
nice person.
but Theus and Marlon, boy, y'all two, I'm like, okay, I ain't gonna.
If you were remotely even mad at Anna, you're going to hell. I'm just telling you.
Yeah,
now, there's
I don't
nothing
even know
wrong
what
with
your
you.
religion is, but you going.
Whoa.
You going to hell. I don't know what your issue is, but you.
I'll
going-
agree with that one.
I thought I was tougher on Theus. And
No,
I see you were
no,
tougher.
no, you bring all your guns out when it comes to me. I'm like, well, what did I
Now, me and Tracy, we go at it, but
yeah, we go at it. We're like, no,
Mhm.
you wrong, and you wrong, and let me tell you this. Yeah. But I think most of the time we're saying no, except for Obama. That's the only time where we're
That's
not
what this
saying the
show-
same
that-
thing.
That literally is what this show about. We literally.
oh,
We're
can we have a
saying the
moment
same
when Tracy
thing.
says, "Thank you, Joe Manchin." Oh, that's
See?
cool.
Yeah.
I had to phrase. I had to
We
phrase it.
come to the same city. We always get to the same city.
We just got way different ways to get there.
So many different routes.
Theus
to
goes
get there.
the bus route where he goes off to 15 different
We
towns,
go
and
the
I'm like,
bus route.
give me, yeah, it got a hitchhike on his way. I just like put me on the plane
Theus
and
takes
get
a
me to the
motorcycle
city.
through the woods. Anna taking
Hitchhikes.
dirt bikes over mountains. We all wind up at the same spot, but it's like our paths is just like, and that's the funny thing about it is our biggest arguments ain't over the solution. Our biggest arguments is off of, no, you wrong. That ain't how you get there. You need to get there by doing blah 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 blah. And we just go.
That is how y'all treat me, though. That right there, that is how y'all treat
Where's the dinger at Marlin? Please. Just for me. For me.
me. Oh, really? That is how y'all treat me. Because you see, here's the thing about me.
Y'all
Y'all ain't got to follow my path. You will never find a time y'all can roll back every tape you want to. I don't insist any of you follow my path.
No, Theus, we always get on you.
Let me be
for one
quiet
thing.
before I say something. I ain't got no business.
Yeah, I'll get on Theus for one thing and one thing only, and I'm not going to even remotely go into another history because I'm proud of him about it, and I'm not going to bring that up. Theus, I jump on you so much because I've said this before, and I'll say it again. You are one of the most intelligent people I have ever met on YouTube, period. And you just have this beaten up mentality. Nobody wants to listen to me, and I talk too much and everything. And I'm like, dude, you put out a video every other president, and you wonder why nobody watches you. They don't not watch you because you don't talk or you don't have an intelligent conversation. They don't listen to you because they don't know where the hell you're coming back on again. You can sit there and say, this is the most intelligent person I ever heard. I can't wait to hear his stuff back in December.
Next January 2024. That's when the next one's coming out.
February.
Yeah, but Marlon, you are definitely harder on me than see it. There's no
It gets me
step.
when things even comes out with, I get so angry when I say these things and there's no change.
I don't say that when I say that.
You said that before. You get so angry and frustrated. You not seeing any change. So I just feel like
I do.
just need to stop
I get
talking.
frustrated. I
And
don't
just
see change,
keep
but not
looking at
because
you
of what
like,
I say.
Dude, what did you say when?
No, but
When
that's
did
what I'm
you
saying.
say it?
I don't get upset that I'm not seeing change because of stuff I said. I get frustrated because ain't nothing changing.
You get
Don't we all,
frustrated because you should be part of the change, and we don't see you for every 90 days.
90? You give them 90.
90, 120, yeah, I know.
180,
I was being
365.
nice.
I mean, come on.
I think
How
I
many
just video in
videos have
May.
you done this year so far? And we're on month
You
8.
tell me a lot. Hey.
Anna, no, you can't not defend this. No, you can't.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, I can.
No, I
Yes,
said
I can.
Anna.
No,
Anna's trying to
no.
say he did more. No, I ain't.
In fact, May. I think May was the last time I did that.
Hmm.
See,
And-
it's August. It's August.
It's 90 days. I'll drop one tomorrow. Just to
Okay.
get out the way.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, you won't.
No, you won't. I'll drop one before you, and I'm on a month sabbatical.
Do y'all
Wow.
really want to know?
Ooh,
Anna-
challenge.
Anna
Yeah,
right
that's
now-
it. That's a challenge, Marlon. Who'll drop a video first in the month of August? Me, who's on sabbatical, or Thea's? Who's gonna win this battle?
Well, the funny thing about it is Thea's now because you challenged them. And
Pretty
he
much.
doesn't like to lose a challenge. So yeah. Now he will drop one
I
tomorrow.
might not be first, but it's coming.
Mm.
Because you're not going to edit it.
I've been itching to
I
do one.
put-
I'm like, no, I'm on sabbatical. I'm on
I
sabbatical.
put pressure on everybody on this site. Why Anna has health issues. I slid that all to the side because Anna said, I'm going back on YouTube and I'm going to put videos out. Anna, what's the first thing that I said to you when you said I'm going to go back on YouTube?
You
I
might
know
as
you
well
can't
come
remember
on
that
the
part.
show.
Like on the spot.
You are coming on this show. I'm not pulling no woe is me and everything else. Nope. You got something you want to do, I'm throwing you in the fire. You gonna do it or you don't. And Anna, ever since then, is putting out more and more and more videos. Tracy, I do probably jump on you the most because you're the little sister, you get on my damn nerves.
Of
But I
course
love you, and I'm not gonna sit there and just go, yeah, that makes sense.
And you're doing big things.
And you're doing big things. The one person, and I'm not trying to insult anybody else, I'm really not. But when I say the one person on this show that walks the walk compared to talk the talk, I'm not a marcher. I'm not a protester. I know where my
I am.
Yeah, and the
Anna-
protest.
and Anna is too, but I'm not that person because I know where my threshold is, and I'm not that nice a person, so I know I'm not that
Who
person.
said
that
you gotta be
won't-
nice when you protested?
No, but here's what
No,
I think he's alluding to.
Tracy, you misunderstand. what I'm saying.
Read the book, Deacons for Self-Defense. You don't even have to get further than the first chapter, and you will understand why people like myself and Marlon don't show up for protests.
You don't want us there. You really just don't.
I can't
we
stand by
appreciate
and see somebody and see a woman or a child be harmed. I can't.
I'm
So
not
now
that.
I'm
I'm not
elevate the
that
situation.
person.
It's not helpful.
I'm not that person where you say something to me and you think you're gonna get in my space and I'm gonna make that space 10 times smaller than where we started. I'm not that person.
I'm overreact. It's my problem.
I'm the overreacting type of person. You know, but digress. Tracy is the walk that walk. So if I'm
Boss
big,
lady.
if
State
I'm jumping
Senator
on Tracy for
Tracy
stuff,
Carson.
for instance, when I sit here and go with, I can't do it. They won't let. I don't want to talk. I don't want to walk. I don't want to speak. I don't want to. Tracy, you do everything you have ever said you don't want to
I
do.
know, and I hate that. I'm like, I spoke 2 minutes. That was it. 2 minutes, I was done.
You did it though. That's a sign of
30
leadership.
seconds. You flat out said through the whole show, I don't want to, and they can't make me. The next thing I know, I'm seeing a poster of, well, look at there who's in the corner. Tracy.
Tracy got folks coming on her podcast that at any given time might have, I don't know, I'm just making up a number, 5-6 views on it. And you interviewing people that have been in the game for 20 years, coming to you, trying to get your insight and your advice, and pulling you in
See, that's what I
and
mean.
placing
That's
you
what I
in
mean.
Yes.
positions of authority.
Right
So,
there.
yeah, you can say what you say because it's part of your humble nature, and that's cool. I appreciate that. Sometimes
No,
it gets
can
under my
irritate
skin,
after
but
a
that's your
certain amount
thing.
of time. No,
But
no.
No.
No, that's part of her
Tracy-
humble nature.
It goes a
No,
bit into
because
self-detrimental.
Tracy is good at what she does.
That's what I was
Tracy
getting
is
to.
good.
It doesn't sometimes it doesn't matter what you see. We see it anyway. So oftentimes the best leaders throughout history been the ones who really didn't want to be up there.
Yep.
And I'll say this because it's 11 o'clock and I got to take my medicine.
I'm gonna
If-
shut up.
If you looking for me for leadership, you look in the wrong place.
That's an awesome statement, and that's gonna help you to the state senate house. So what I was gonna say though, I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna leave it alone. All right, Tracy, hear me close. Hear me close.
I'm listening.
I'll go if I gotta go.
Oh my gosh. Marlon, please put him on mute because didn't nobody ask for all that.
If my mama won't go, if my daddy won't go, I'll go
That's the challenge. Will
If
I
I
put out a
have to
video first or will Theus? And I'm on
by
sabbatical.
myself.
So now I've challenged. The challenge is made.
Anna, please tell everybody so I can get off with these crazy people. Please
Tracy,
tell
know the
everybody
song
where
I
they
was
can
singing?
find you.
ForeliaEtc.com. Also on YouTube. Also on Instagram. Pretty much all the places.
You on Instagram?
Instagram
Okay.
is new.
Oh, big time! And I got an Instagram. I don't know how to use it.
I have absolutely no idea how to use it.
You just
Tracy.
put pictures.
Yeah, but I don't want to put pictures. It's great.
Yeah, I'm like, don't nobody want to look at my
That
face.
sounds too much like work. Tracy, tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, first question. If I'm being interviewed tomorrow, does that break my sabbatical?
You're not hosting.
Oh,
You're
okay,
not
good. Because I get interviewed
No,
tomorrow
yeah.
about the Medicare for All March. Okay, but you can find me at all platforms, TracyMediaLLC.com. Thank you.
Where are you gonna be tomorrow?
I'm gonna be interviewed for a show. I'll tag you guys.
Look at that. Big time. Big time.
Oh,
Big time.
Congratulations.
where can we find you?
Yeah, good luck finding me. You can usually find me on Marlon's show. But what I was going to say, though, is this is an opportunity to go ahead and plug, because Indiana need help, y'all. All right.
Jojo, don't we?
Georgia is a mess, because, but we like a simmering mess. Florida is a hot mess. Texas is a hot mess. Indiana and Ohio are two horrible messes, but Florida and Texas are so much worse that people just kind of ignore what's happening in Indiana and Ohio, but they're fighting for some attention.
Where do
So
we
what
go?
we
How do
do
we get here
is-
from? Theus, where can I find you?
Because I'm
Where
going
are
there.
you going?
You told me I go through the woods. I'm going through the woods. All
Mhm.
right.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
But here's where you can find me. You can find me supporting Tracy for state senator in the state of Indiana, because Indiana needs better representation, and she the one.
And the rest of it, Theus, because you're not getting out of this.
Yeah, where can we find you?
You
Complex
can go to
mind.
complexsimpleman.com.
Video so long, he forgot his own website.
No, I was
Oh
trying
my
to
God.
find how to plug you instead. But complexsimpleman.com. I will be doing a video tomorrow just to thank everybody for us wrapping up the Stock the Clinic program. And then I'll have pictures and things to follow for the things that we purchased. I still got a few more things to buy. And I think I'm gonna do like basic banking for the regular person. I think I'm gonna do that video. I think I'm gonna do that.
Awesome.
So I
Ladies
can
and
trace
gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, that is our show for tonight. I truly appreciate it. If you can, please hit that like button on the way out the door. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace. If I could actually find the outro, because I haven't been on here for such a long time. I don't know where anything else is anymore. Here it is. Peace.